Finally, we speak about what you call the jewel of the Archdiocese. This time the jewel is very special, rather it goes a little out of the town as it were, and nestles itself in the mission station of Anekal. Anekal. We have all heard Anekal is in the Ramnagar district. It's not a big place, but at the same time full of joy and enthusiasm for Christianity. In fact, the story of Anekal seems to be going back somewhere in the 18th century, in fact 1711, when a certain Father Manuel de Cunha was martyred there for the sake of faith. And so we have also the blood of the martyrs that is spread, that is sprinkled in the diocese in some places. And the place of Anekal is one of those places where the Jesuit priest Father Manuel de Cunha was martyred, and I would be happy to learn more about him, and also perhaps that he be promoted as a saint of the Archdiocese. A martyr is always special. A martyr is always perhaps a jewel that we cannot compare and see. And therefore I would be very happy if this saint would be projected and his devotion spread towards the others. As regards the Anekal itself, according to the recent history, in 1974, the Archdiocese handed over this particular taluka, Anekal taluka, to the Jesuits, and they happily took it over to say that we would like to work in this mission and develop it in a great sense. And so the first recommendation to the Jesuits was made by the team of the Jesuits headed by Father J.C. Pereira. And he said that perhaps the Jesuits could take up this mission, because not that the diocesans could not be able, but it would be very slow. Whereas Jesuits have their persons, they have their personnel, and therefore the evangelization could be a little more faster. Father Francis Guntapilli is supposed to be the one who built the first church, and Father Francis Guntapilli, he was a young priest at that time. This is about 50 years ago. Father Francis, as you know, died recently, about 2 years ago, and he built the first church. Father J.C. Pereira in 1976, he is supposed to have celebrated the Golden Jubilee of the mission as such. And Father Deepak Nayak, he also started a particular very special mission, the mission of education, the mission of reading. And therefore he went over many places, opened small libraries, small reading rooms, so small perhaps parlors, reading parlors as such, so that people also could read and be educated as such. And this it seems he spread for 61 villages. In 1976 he started this mission. Slowly, we know St. Joseph's Church of Anekal, we know. St. Joseph's School of Anekal also was important in order to spread the knowledge, and with knowledge to give the people a little backing, as it were, of the sciences, of the education as such, so that they could develop. And thirdly, the Divya Jyoti Ashram also was started in 1978, and at Chandapura is supposed to be a small unit of this Divya Jyoti Ashram. Father Patrick de Mello is remembered for his food for work mission. You know, the people were very poor. Many of them, perhaps there was starvation also. And so he created this with the help of the foreign donors, maybe a food for work, that namely they work at the same time, they earn by way of food, as it were, food packets or the food ration that was given, and that helped the people also to keep themselves healthy and strong. And we also remember Father Rupert, who was the superior of the Anekal mission in 1983. And before that, the Canossian sisters' work, which is also monumental, has to be remembered. The Canossian sisters, along with the Jesuit fathers, in many places they go together, and they took up the education, especially of the girls, and helped the fathers in order to establish the school, the Genossian school, and also education for the girls. There's another development that took place, which very much remarkable. Namely, the Jesuits thought that the training that is given to the seminarians, what we call the novitiate or perhaps the theology, could be done in the local language, in Kannada. So therefore they introduced this particular section of teaching the brothers into the local language, the theology and the theological aspects. And this was started in 1992. This is 1993, Karnataka Regional Theological Extension. And later on, rather recently, in 2021, the Jesuits began the PU College and newly established St. Joseph School, Jnanajyoti, in 2023. So these are the recent developments, but then it all goes back to the St. Joseph's mission of Anekal. You can imagine 50 years ago, perhaps even more than that, Anekal was nothing, just a village. But today it's a throbbing, perhaps an entity to say that there is much more that was done by our Jesuits, and so we praise and bless them for the Jesuit mission of Anekal, along with the church, with the spiritual activities, with the schools and education, with the social development, and also the empowerment of the men and especially women in that area. So we thank the Jesuits very specially for this, and we consider it a very special jewel of our Archdiocese.